Welcome back to Blast Guys Reviews. In this review, we'll be taking a look at the new G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Major Bludd. This is kind of a reissue in a sense from the Cobra Island exclusive figures when the line first started from Target, which was very hard to get and it became a nightmare for collectors to obtain. So if you missed out on that, here's an opportunity to add Major Bludd to your collection. This is really cool. It has some red accents to it, which we'll take a look at here soon. But the front of the box looks pretty cool, what we're used to seeing. This Major Bludd is 166 in the line. The back of the box here shows a nice battle diorama with the snake armor in the back. It's upcoming as Pulse exclusive as of this video. A couple of little points there, the scars on his face, his pretty cool designed helmet. Now the side of the box is pretty cool. There's, like I said, 166 in the line. There's the stats, QR code, and the artwork on the box is pretty nice. Everybody is a big fan of this sculpt of Major Bludd in this design. And the top of the box, the bottom of the box. There's a UPC to help you out all. Now that we showed all the carded in-box collectors what this looks like, let's get out of packaging for all of us loose collectors. Check him out. Alright guys, here is Major Bludd outside the packaging, and he looks pretty amazing in my opinion. Very nice. Now this isn't the color scheme or aesthetics of the retro cartoon. I bet we will get that someday in a retro series, but let's take a look at Major Bludd's head sculpt. Looks pretty cool. He has his very unique haircut, all shaved around the sides, the back, the top of his head. He has this kind of a mohawk slash something, I don't know what you call that, but got a little bit of gray there, or white maybe, just showing his age. He has a scruffy look on his jaw, a mustache, his teeth is showing, pretty cool. He has that patch over his eye, looks like Kino. Well, he shoots a laser out of that thing, and then obviously the scar across the eye there in the face, which is probably damaged or taken his eye in a battle. Pretty graphic for Hasbro, but the plate carrier or vest here is pretty nice. This has the flat black. We have the red accents. The silver line work here really makes this figure pop. All this silver here around these buckles and the collar, and throughout here a lot of line work. If you guys can see that, I really appreciate that. It was very cool. The back of it, same thing. Very nice silver line work over the black. A little bit of red there. It's really very nice. On this arm, he has his brown shirt. He has this symbol, like a sword, a green background. His gauntlet, it's the same kind of design as his vest with the silver line work with the black, but this is more of a gloss than the actual tactical plate carrier that he has on. Now, Major Bludd did lose his arm in battle, so he has his robotic arm. This one here, his shoulder pad has the silver line work also. Kind of like a pad here. It's like if you want to shoulder block somebody, look pretty rough if you take that blow. Or his cybernetic arm, nicely sculpted. Some red throughout. Not sure what this is, a vent. See a lot of silver on the back here. Looks very good. And then we have the red on top of the hand. Maybe if he punches you with that arm, it's like probably getting punched by a Terminator or something. His belt, he has silver grenades, a belt buckle, all the way around. Right, some pockets on his pants there. And then his gun case kind of strapped to the belt, which is, I'm not a big fan of that because it usually gets in the way of articulation. Then around the thigh here. There is some silver on this case, and very unique. It has like a cutout here. It's quite wide than we're used to seeing. Other than that, brown pants. You got the flat black knee pads. His boots are pretty cool. Gets these nice shin guards here. You can tell they're plated with that black and silver line work. Even on the buckle here on the side, looks good. The back on the top, he has these steel-toed, I'm gonna call them steel-toed boots, because if you kicked with those, you're gonna lose some teeth, or whatever else he kicks you. Kind of pointy in a sense, but cut off at the tip, but pretty nice. articulation wise, we will take a look at articulation in this video because obviously it's a different type of arm. We'll see how that ranges, but you can look down, up and down, side to side, and all the way around. There's a joint at the bottom of the neck, and then obviously that joint here, top of the neck. If you could get this kind of, you know, out of the box, so maybe heat it up, work it a little bit. So this arm will rotate 360 up, kind of gets stuck right there. It doesn't get me a T-pose. Bicep cut, double jointed elbow is kind of stiff, and then this hand has the up and down on it and all the way around. Now for this one, this is going to be interesting because he has the pad. It does rotate all the way around. It seems like this is actually, yes, so this pad is actually attached to the arm, so it's not like tucked like we've seen with some of the other characters. We'll worry about breakage, but this is pinned here in here, so this will float up and down out the way, so you can actually raise the arm up. That's what we should have. That's very nicely done. I do like that. No more tucking around the joint, which was cause friction or breakage or rip of the plastic that they use, or rubberish material. Pretty cool. There is a top bicep cut there, and then we have a double jointed elbow, which is kind of stuck, but it's there. So this hand is something I can go up and down also, which is stuck. It goes all the way around, so cool. Of course, we have the waist, and then it has that cut that goes over here under the vest. So it gets you pretty good range. Rotation at the waist, but it's kind of stiff. I don't want to break my figure. G.I.JOE class figures are hard to get now, and I don't want to damage ones that I can't able to get. He will sit in his tank. Very cool. Basically, a little spread-legged. Kind of wants to bow out a little bit. And I'm betting it's probably because of this pistol case here, but not too bad. Thigh cut here is kind of stuck. I can see it. There we go. Nope, can't free it up. The knees are double jointed, and the top joint works. Bottom one's stuck. Boot cut. Feet do pivot down a little bit, kind of stiff. I don't want to break it. And then obviously get that swivel rocker around the ankle. So all our articulations there. What's really important about this figure is this right here. That's perfect. That's what I like to see instead of that tuck under the joint. Very nice. I'm glad to see that for Major Bludd, because that's, you know, probably just going to make his gun hand. So you definitely want to have that freed. All right, so let's take a look at his accessories. We have his helmet, pretty cool. Same kind of black. There is this silver line work here in the front, makes it pop. There's a splash of wear there in the back. That's really cool, especially because there's a light. You kind of see more and more of it whenever there's a light around. And this should fit right over his head, and it does. Get that around his nose. That looks perfect. Side view, the back, the other side, pretty nice. I like this figure. It looks very cool. I started to get a retro, maybe cartoon version, just because, you know, in those colors, I'd buy that if they would ever release it. He has a set of dog tags and all this, not so much. This just should be just silver, but it's just kind of like a plastic molded. It's in a silverish color, but it's not, you know, the same silver they used. So this will go over his head and it fits over the helmet. And if you get it to lay in the right spot, it just looks very fake to me. I'm not sure if I even used that. I kind of get the, you know, idea it might be something there. This is just, you know, very unsightly. So I'll probably remove that because it's just generic looking. He does come with a pistol, which is very, very nice. It's very heavy revolver, probably like a 357 Magnum. I could imagine the size of that round in the G.I.JOE universe. Black plastic, which is pretty stiff. Silver barrel cylinder here. The red there on the handle, which is great. We kind of give him a little bit of ownership. And I think maybe is this gun meant to be put here because that's such a big pouch? And no, that's too big. But let's see how well I can get him to hold it in this cybernetic arm. Get the finger in there. Can we do it? I think we can. There we go. That's a big old hand cannon right there for you. That's pretty cool. Fortunately, unless he's holding that, I don't think there's anywhere to stare that away. So he does come with his traditional type of pistol. Definitely gives you the G.I.JOE cartoon feel. Looks pretty cool. Little tab there. Not sure what that's for. Let's see something. Now he used to have it to where he would attach these to his rockets, which he gets 2 of here. Let's get 2 of these black rockets. More like it's probably a plug-in a barrel type look. They fit relatively snug and not gonna come out. So that's pretty cool. Should hold it. Yeah, I mean, very nicely. That is quite long. So as long as it's an assault rifle, pretty decent. Let's see. So let's take this out, and we can put this in here. So that's what that's meant to be. And then he can, you know, hold this other gun, so to speak, like that. That's how it looks. But then also to store his missiles, you can, when you're not using that specific weapon, it's a backpack here. It's a flat plastic with a peg on the back, and some way, somehow, these get sandwiched into the back of here to stow away, which is good. For some reason, I had the impression he had 3 of these things. Maybe I'm wrong. But then he just pegged down onto his bag, which you can see that the vest is kind of too low. Gotta shift that up a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna do that off the camera because that is not working. Alright, I had to shift that vest pretty good in an upward position to get that to go in, but here's the back of that with his rockets stowed away, and it fits quite well. Just noticed something. There's a peg on here, a peg hole right there. Okay, well that fits there, so you could stow that away. Does that mean that this gun can fit in there? I mean, I don't want to, it feels super tight. I want to smash or bend my plastic. It just doesn't. Well, maybe it does. If I didn't bend something on my gun. But there, I guess you can stow his weapons away. Okay, there he is. Looking pretty nice. Pretty cool. Alright, so yeah, I like it. Really no complaints. I think it turned out well. Except for this accessory is just garbage, and it looks fake and very generic. Couple comparisons. I did a review for Auburn Cobra Commander, which came out in the same wave. That's how he looks like Cobra Commander, if you're interested. Pretty cool. Also working on a review for my Trench Viper and Bunker, so look for that here shortly. So he stands up against them, and I just did a review for Breaker if you want a comparison with the Joe. There he is, looking pretty cool. Alright, so I do highly recommend this figure. It's done very nicely. Not, like I said, no major issues. I think he's done quite well, and I'm quite satisfied with it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in our next review.